all situated. I'm going to turn on the video now. Here I am. I'm going to appear. Poof, suddenly, there we go. Still got my cuddly blanket around me, my safety cloth. Because I will admit, I was really nervous just before this gathering. The whole day, I could feel something big is happening. Something big is unfolding right now. And as one of my mantras in life, at least for the last 12 days, has been my life is perfect. My life is perfect. My life is perfect. I just know that by us being here together today, now, we are amplifying each other's state. And you know why I know that? Because we are gathering in what I call sacred sisterhood. So if you're into sacred sisterhood, maybe raise your hand and tell me, yes, I'm in for that. I'm in for a community of conscious women that are dedicated to creating peace on this planet, peace within ourselves and peace around us. We're interested and dedicated to creating a big, lofty goal, and that is financial freedom. You know, that idea that we don't have to ever again worry about money, that we all have everything that we need to be fully present in the now, in this world, and share our gifts and talents. Because I know that every single one of you that I'm seeing right now on the screen, you're unique. You're unique and you're exceptional. Why I know that is because it's all a matter of frequencies, isn't it? And when I, 3 years ago, woke up with this yearning, this real deep desire to feel more sisterhood in my life, I knew somehow, because the yearning was so big, that this was not just something for me. This was something that I was picking up on the vibrations on this planet. So, do you agree with me that us women do best when we feel supported by a gang of other amazing women who know that we're all in for creating the greater good? Can you say yes to that? Yeah, cool. I'm seeing a lot of nods, and I really would love you to stay really present today and be engaged. I'm gonna be talking for a bit, and so is Nicole, who you might see right next to me. I see her here. Let's put the spotlights on so we can introduce ourselves. So here comes me. Hang on. Ooh, spotlight. Here we go. And here comes Nicole. Hello, my love. I'm so glad we're here, although you right now are in Athens, in Greece,
Yes.
and I am in Salzburg, Austria, and I have no idea where everyone else is. So I would love to open up the chat and ask you where you're tuning in from today. Where are you right now? Where's your physical body? So we can actually see how many different countries we're connecting here. And there we go. We've got some comments coming in. Please tell us where you are. And while we tune into each other, let's create a big safety bubble around us. And we do that by anchoring ourselves down into the ground, into the here and now. And it's a very simple way of doing that. Nicole, please keep an eye on the waiting room. We've got a lot more goddesses coming in. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Let's just become aware of the feet, our feet. Where are the soles of our feet and where is our physical body? What parts of our body are touching the surface beneath us? Maybe it's a chair that you're sitting on. Maybe you're lying down. You're welcome to do that too. Just relax. And then with your breath and your focused attention, imagine breathing into those parts that are connected to the earth right now. Just becoming aware. And then imagine sending down these beautiful, strong roots that go down and down and down into the earth, going through all the layers of the earth. Could you imagine that? And then in the core of the earth, we have this beautiful lava-filled heart of what I call Mother Earth. And this transformational fire is giving us electromagnetic frequencies, that grounding energy is proven to be healing. Let's just become aware of those energies. And now, simply by breathing in and out very consciously, slowly, and gently, let's imagine that with every exhale, we're letting go. We're letting go of any emotions, any worries, doubts, fears, all that stuff. Let it go. We're letting go of any attachments, anything that could be holding us back from being truly present and in our power. Well done. I can feel us all doing it. And now, if you're in a safe place, which I hope you are, go ahead and close your eyes just for a second. And then roll your eyes up as if you're looking through the crown of your head. Keep them up there. And then say, my intention is to completely, immediately, and permanently be connected to my best self, the core of my being, and to be happy, healthy, and well in every way. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it is, so it shall be, or something even better. And take one more breath. Oh, open your eyes and we can get going. Now, I know that my beautiful sister goddess Nicole has done a card reading for us today. So she pulled a card and she's going to just quickly tell us what is the essence of the card. What's the message for today?
It goes, hello, first of all. I'm so happy to be here. It goes exactly in the right direction. It's like I got goosebumps all over when I drew it. It's out of the card deck, Spirit Animal Oracle from Colette Baron Reed, and it's the Panther Spirit. And guess what? Can you see it? It's
The panther.
the number 44, which I got the, and it says reclaim your power. And I was asking, what is it that this new 1 year circle we are doing here, what is it about? And I want to read that to you because it is so special. So there we go. So very short. The oracle's message is, it takes courage to face challenges, and right now Panther Spirit is here to say that you are braver than you think. Now is the time to take a risk and step into a different aspect of your being. Amazing. Speak as you have never spoken before. Act as you have always dreamed you might have the courage to act. Laugh fearlessly and fully, and expect to feel the adrenaline rush as you are initiated into a new, braver, bolder self. Panther Spirit says the time for dreaming about what you want to do is giving way to that first courageous act toward reclaiming your Panther Spirit and power. Your new identity may feel strange at first, but you have what it takes and your soul wants this. Be bold. I love that so much.
That's beautiful. So are you ready to be bold? Are you ready? Yes, yes. Nicole says yes. If you're a yes, pop it in the chat. The reason why I'm asking you to do this is because when you tap that into the chat, you tap that, it's another switch word, yes, into the chat, you are contributing to the raising of frequencies here. Thank you for those yeses. I love it. So once we've got all the yeses, we know what we're here for. Let me start my presentation or our presentation. We've been working really hard on this. And all truth be told, this is the very first PowerPoint presentation I have ever created. I've always had people help me with this stuff. But this time I felt it's time you do it yourself, Joy. So if it's not 100% perfect, forgive me. I really did my best and I'm really excited to show you this. So let me now share my screen with you. I totally can do this. This is so easy. Okay, yes, I want that. I want that. I want to share my screen. I've got this. Yes, yes, yes. We've got this. We've got this. We've got this. Okay, okay, okay. I want to share my screen. Here we go. And I'm going to share my desktop. Oh my goodness. No, I'm going to share this. Here we go. Screen sharing is paused. Well, that's interesting. I would like to do it now. Oh my goodness. Okay, bear with me. We're going to edit this video afterwards, I think. But I know that we have got this. Share. Go on, share. Oh, can you see this? You can now see.
Yes.
Okay, that you can see. So now we want this. Click to exit full screen. I actually want that. Here we go. Okay, we got this. Yes, nearly there, nearly there, nearly there. Now we need to go into present. Present. Yes, here we go. You are officially welcomed to the Golden Goddess Circle. What is the Golden Goddess Circle? The Golden Goddess Circle is a transformative community of conscious women dedicated to creating financial freedom, promoting peace, and living in alignment with the powerful wisdom of the 12 goddess laws. I'm going to go into those in a minute. Now, oh dear, actually, 1 second. Your hosts, who are we? We've introduced ourselves a little bit. We have my beautiful sister goddess, Nicole Dansert. We put our ages there just to be fully transparent. She's 55 years old or young, and she's a weaver of healing atmospheres and definitely a life artist. I can definitely dedicate that. Yes, absolutely. Then we have myself, Joy Martina. I'm 50 years old, officially vintage. I'm a psychic psychologist, a best-selling author, and a founder of the GGC. And I founded this GGC because I was yearning for sisterhood, for true sacred sisterhood, as I call it, a network of women that would actually be supporting each other without any jealousy, without any backstabbing, without any competition. And here we are. And the 12 goddess laws, they came across my path about 15 years ago the first time. And then just recently, when I was hosting the Healing Hearts retreat here at this Lichtwerk, they came up again because my dear friend Astrid, who was co-teaching with me, brought this book in. And we went through these goddess laws and applied them in the retreat. And that was that initial trigger that I knew this is what we need to be teaching in the Golden Goddess Circle. Now, the Golden Goddess Laws, or the Goddess Laws as I call them, are inspired by that legendary Empress Wu, who is and was the longest reigning Empress of China. And she has quite the incredible story. Now, I know that the Empress Wu is also, she's got quite the reputation. She was not a saint, I'll be that. But she knew one thing. She knew how to apply the laws of power in her benefit. And she was a very much loved empress at that time, although there were a lot of things that she did that I will not say were a cool thing, but whatever. We know that these 12 goddess laws helped her become who she was. And now here's her quick story. She was the concubine of the emperor of China. Then the emperor died, and she was amongst the first generation of women who were not buried alive when the emperor died, because up until then, all the women that were in the emperor's life and many of their servants were also buried alive when the emperor died. Wild. She was not buried alive, but they were all put into a nunnery, right? So they were sent away from society. They had to shave their heads, and they lived in this monastery-like setting. Now, Wu managed to, from that monastery with the shaven head, so, not the actual beauty ideal of that time and away from society, she managed to become the concubine of the son of the dead emperor, so the next emperor of China. And then not only did she become one of the concubines, she became the main concubine of the emperor of China. From there, she was then invited to the palace as the main concubine. She became the wife of the emperor. Then she gave him a son and took over the rule and became the Empress of China. Now, that's quite a career, I would say. So let's look at these 12 laws of the Empress, which we're now calling the 12 goddess laws. And the first law, which is what we're going to go into today and really dive into a bit, is the goddess knows her visions. I'll tell you more about that later. Goddess law number 2, the goddess enjoys her sexuality. So Empress Wu was a big advocate of female health and female pleasure. She had multiple lovers because she said young lovers gave her that energy that she needed to be her most powerful and creative self. Interesting, right? Rule number three, the goddess is shameless. Shame, as we know, is one of the lowest vibrations on this planet. It's lower than depression, lower than guilt, even. When people feel full of shame or full of guilt, they are at such low vibration that they are easy to manipulate. And some say that's what some of the systems on this planet want. They want a herd full of sheep that will just do what they're told to do. Now, we're different. The goddess is shameless. Rule number four, the goddess takes what she needs. And that doesn't mean that the goddess is an egotistical asshole moving through life. No, but she's aware of her needs and she's able to take what she needs when the time is right. She doesn't deny her own needs. Do you get what I mean? Rule number five, the goddess recognizes and respects other goddesses. One of my favorite rules. I think this describes sisterhood so well, the sacred sisterhood that I'm talking about, is that we're on eye level with each other. We connect from heart to heart and we can see the goddess in the other. Rule number six, the goddess does not explain herself. Think about it. How much time do we often, especially as women, spend justifying ourselves, explaining our actions? Why? The goddess does not explain herself. Rule number seven, the goddess does not follow conventions. Conventions, I think, are just another word, not always, but often another word for programming. Now, if we follow the main programming on this planet, see where that's going to get us. Isn't it true that all those that really created change, that left a legacy that people still talk about many decades or even hundreds of years later, did not follow conventions? They had the courage to do things differently. And I know that here in this goddess circle, that's the kind of women that we are. We're desiring to create change. We're desiring to be part of the solution of a new type of earth, aren't we? Next law, the goddess does not reveal all her secrets. Now, this is definitely a mistake that I used to make. I thought that the more transparent and open I am, the better. And then I had to learn that that is not always the case. Sometimes it's good to keep very strong boundaries and to be very discerning in who I let in on my secrets, in my most inner circle. And that's also a reason why I feel so passionate about this circle, because this circle, I know just from its vibration, is going to attract the exact right women who are aligned with these principles. And that's why I want to go into them so that every one of you knows what you're saying yes to. Next law, the goddess knows the sources of her power. That means that we recognize our own skills and talents. We know what gives us power. We know what gives us joy. We know how to help ourselves. Because when we know our sources of power, we can tap into them and then use them for the greater good. Next law, the goddess does not delude herself. I think sometimes people get very triggered when I use the word goddess. They even think it's blasphemy, right? How could you say you're a goddess? Well, I believe every single one of us are part of what I call God. Maybe you call it source or love or whatever it is. And that made me, I am part of, and that part is always in me. So yes, I am a goddess and so are you. And yet I don't delude myself in going into a fantasy world that is far from reality. I want to stay conscious and present with what is and deal with what is in the most graceful way. The goddess is beautiful. The goddess knows and sees her own beauty. And we know that for a fact that we can only see beauty in others if we can see it in ourselves. Think about that. And the 12th law is the goddess is generous. Generous means we have a generous heart. We are into understanding and loving and feeling compassion for other people. We're generous with our gifts. We trust that we are living in a universe that is abundant. There is more than enough for everyone. So the more we share our gifts, the more that's going to come back to us. We know that for certain about the attitude of gratitude, don't we? That's what we need to create abundance. And when we're tapped in and turned on and tuned into that abundance, it's easy to be generous. It's easy to share your gifts because you're doing what you love. And when you do what you love, you're tuned into an energy that there's endless supply of love. So let's go into the law of this month. Now, in this session today, because it's an open circle, and I'll tell you more about this new concept that we have of open circles and closed circles. In this open circle, we're going to dive into this topic, but we're going to go deeper in the next session that we have. So we're going to spend each month really not only exploring a law, but also having the time to apply the law. And that's why we're spreading out our gatherings to twice a month. So we'll always have 2 gatherings a month, where in the first gathering, we dive into that topic, the law of the month. And in the second gathering, we go even deeper and we see how have we applied this law? How have we used the kind of joy work that I call given in the first law in the first session to be able to really see the effects and the results in our lives? That's what I want for all of us. I want this to be a circle where we don't just talk about stuff and transform stuff. I mean, that was amazing too, these last 3 years. But I want to take the next step. I want to see us taking action in the world. And that's that part that maybe I was for myself missing these last 3 years because we had these open circles and I never knew who was here. I didn't know every single one of you. And now I want to get to know you. I want us to work together as a team. I see us as this big beehive, this hive mind that gets together, creates magic, and then goes out into the world and spreads the love. So the goddess knows her visions. In this lesson, we're going to go into the brainwave states, how they are important to having that vision in our life, to knowing why am I here? What's my purpose? Where do I want to go? We're going to talk about the role of intuition, that highest intelligence, how when we're tuned into intuition, decision making is easy. There's no room for doubt because I know that I'm operating from that highest intelligence, and that highest intelligence knows more than my little conscious mind. We're going to also talk about how to activate our pineal gland. What is the pineal gland and what can it do for us? We're going to learn that embracing the unknown is maybe the biggest challenge we have. And I'm also going to teach you a beautiful new concept of connecting with your CSO. I'm going to tell you more about what that CSO is in a minute. So let's get started. What is that ideal state that we want to be in when we are seeking to manifest that what we desire? The key word here is theta, however you want to pronounce it. The theta brain waves are a very relaxed brainwave state that is experienced in meditation. When we do the command that we did at the beginning, when we set our intention and we roll up our eyes, we are also bringing the brain into the theta brainwaves. And that's why it's so powerful. Why is theta so interesting? Well, think about it. When you look at a beta brainwave state, it's a very chaotic, very quick brainwave state. So the curve is all over the place. It's like a radio sender, a radio channel that's not quite tuned. It's right. Then when we relax a little bit, this can often happen when we're driving a car, when we're watching TV, when we're doing something that doesn't require our full attention, we often go into alpha. That's a relaxed state, but not as relaxed as theta. When we're in theta, the brain waves, you'll see it in that blue line, become very smooth. There's no chaos. It's a very focused pulse of energy. And that's that coherent state that also Joe Dispenza talks about that is so important for healing. It's so important for manifesting because it's like sending out a laser-focused beam of your desire, your command to the universe, right out into the field. We need to talk about the unconscious mind. So many of you here know that we have a conscious and an unconscious mind. The conscious mind is that with which we actively think. That's that part of us that says, okay, I'm going to develop a plan, da, 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 da. It's the mind that we use when we're just talking as if we're not really thinking about stuff. It's the babble mind, right? But the way more powerful mind is the unconscious mind. It's that part of the mind that we are just not aware of. That's why it's called unconscious or subconscious. Now, this unconscious mind is like this enormous database with an archive of everything and anything that has ever happened to you. All your childhood traumas, all the past lives, everything that anybody has ever said to you is in there. And this subconscious or unconscious mind has an incredible processing power, where the conscious mind can only process around 20 pieces of information per second. Think of 20 pencils. It's not much. The subconscious mind can process millions of pieces of information per second. And that's why I'm such a fan of sleep programming, because when we're asleep, the subconscious mind is wide awake, and the subconscious mind can understand things that the conscious mind cannot. For instance, when two people are talking, it's hard to even understand them, isn't it right? Consciously. But the unconscious mind is able to understand things that are said backwards and played twice the speed. Just imagine that. Then we need to look at our belief systems and our conditioning. So if, for instance, we'll put these things together, if you're in a stressed out brainwave state, so you're in beta, you're not relaxed at all, your unconscious mind is filled with limiting beliefs and limiting conditioning of the past. It's going to be very hard for you to create a vision of your future, the vision of that life that you really want. That's why when people come to me and say, I don't know my purpose, I don't know my mission, I don't know even why I'm here, I know that they spend most of their time in the beta brainwave, in that conscious mind that is constantly just trying to figure things out. So the conscious mind is always that part of you that is saying, yeah, but how am I going to do that? How's that going to work? It wants to understand. The unconscious mind understands it all in a heartbeat. So we need to look at the belief systems and the conditioning that are now stopping us from expanding our vision, of thinking bigger, of even being able to tune into what we really want. So take a pen and paper out right now. You're going to need it later on as well. You can go and run and get some pen and paper. I'd love you to write it down physically, so not just tap it into a phone, because the writing perspective or the writing aspect of this exercise is going to be very powerful for you, and it's better than typing it. I'd also like to talk to you about the power of intention. So at the beginning of this circle, we set our intention. Lynn McTaggart, The Power of Eight. She's done so much research on the power of intention and has proven over and over again how powerful it is, not only when we set our own intention, meaning that we are specific in what it is that we want to create, but what happens when, for instance, 8 people come together and set that intention together. That's something that we're very passionate about in the Golden Goddess Circle, because we've seen in these last 3 years that we've been working together that we've been able to co-create incredible miracles just by intending together. So we're going to do that today too at the end of this circle. We're going to have a powerful group intention that I really encourage you to stay for, so you can actually feel that power in yourself. What happens when people come together with a focused intention? It's very, very miraculous. Another thing we want to talk about is the pineal gland and that fear of the unknown, or the unknown in itself. So the pineal gland is a little gland in the center of your head, which I describe as the sender and receiver of information in 5D, to make it really neutral. Okay, what is 5D? Some people call it the quantum field, the unknown, whatever name you want to give it. It's that energy field that connects everything and anything. And it's, again, being proven over and over again that that is so. It's not something that you need to believe in. We are all energy, and all of that energy is always connected and never dies. Now, what is this 5D? What is this quantum field about? I love how Joe Dispenza describes it. The quantum field is a field where there is no thing, no time, no one. It's nothing. It's that universal field that you can tune into when you calm your brain. So you go into the theta brainwaves, you access the unconscious mind, you let go of your limiting beliefs and your conditioning, and you use your power of intention to consciously connect with that quantum field. This is really important. I want to say that again. You want to, when you connect to the quantum field, always connect with a specific intention. Because if the quantum field is unlimited, everything is in there. And you want to, just like when you set your dial on the radio, you want to decide, what am I tuning into? I have seen so many people in these last 20 years of my work dive into the quantum field and get lost and no longer be able to function in 3D because they've gone all lofty, or some say spiritual. They've lost connection to 3D. That's not what we're doing here. I want to make really sure that you know what you're doing and why you're connecting to the quantum field. So every time you relax your brain, you're relaxing with an intention, even if it's just the intention to take a break and to heal, but be clear on what you want. That connection to the quantum field, to that endless source of energy, is what you're tapping into when you are doing what I call intuitive manifestation. So you're going into the quantum field with a very specific desire. You're saying, okay, I'm going into the quantum field to create my dream life, to create the unfolding of my heart's desires. What do you need then? You need to know what those heart's desires are, aren't you? So we're going to, in another session, really go deep into those heart's desires and to figure out why they are so important and why they are unique to every single one of us. But for now, you can already start with writing down what it is that you want to create. Okay, just take bullet points for now because you're going to need that later. The next element I'd like to talk about is that connection between the essence of joy, that vibration of joy, and intuition. Now, I've been studying intuition for decades now, and I wrote some books on that. And I know for sure, people don't like hearing this, that only joyful people are really intuitive. And that doesn't mean that they're always happy. Hear me out there. There's a difference between joy and happiness. Happiness is usually a state that we accredit to something happening outside of us that gives us that feeling. That's when people say, I'm going to be happy when I've lost 10 pounds. I'm going to be happy when I find the one. I'm going to be happy when I have that job. That's something that's outside of you where you're saying, if that happens, then I feel happiness. Joy is an emotion and a feeling that comes from inside of you. There's often no reason for that joy. It's just the experience of being alive, that gentle, bubbly feeling of I say it's a form of excitement, anticipation, and gratitude all in one. You know what joy feels like. And you know the difference to that feeling of happiness when you get what you thought you wanted. Isn't that true? So, why is joy so necessary for a crystal clear connection to intuition? Think of that spectrum of emotions that we have, that range of emotions that we have as humans, and it's beautiful. We have grief, we have anger, we have worry, we have gratitude, we have joy, we have bliss, we have peace. And all these emotions are on this rainbow spectrum in different frequencies. I was mentioning at the beginning, the lowest form of frequencies is shame and guilt. Then we have depression and grief. Then we move up and we have anger. Anger always feels better than grief, right? From the anger, then we come into acceptance. From acceptance, we can move up into gratitude. From gratitude, we can move up into joy and peace, and so it goes. And when you think of what intuition is, the highest intelligence, it's a high frequency. We need to bring our frequencies up so that we're a match with that intuition. Other people who like working with angels, and I do too, often say angels have a real hard time with us when we're groveling around on the ground complaining because we're in such a low vibration that their high vibration can't get to us. We're not open to it. So if we want a crystal clear connection with our intuition, we need to find our joy. We need to tune into those things and moments and experience that bring us joy. And they're often not big things. It's simple things. Like for me, getting into a hot bathtub of water brings me joy. But also plunging into ice cold water brings me joy. Reading a good book brings me joy. Connecting with a dear friend brings me joy. Doing my breath work brings me joy. Snuggling Grace brings me joy. Stroking my puppies brings me joy. Taking walks in a wood brings me joy. Write down what brings you joy, because those are the things you want to be doing every single day to elevate your state so that intuition can guide you crystal clear. We're all intuitive. We just need to become aware of it. Is that making sense so far? Okay, let's move on. I'm going to make this very practical to you with my mouse gone. There we go. We're now going to do a practice, which is brand new to everyone here because it's brand new also to me. If you know this practice, do let me know. I'd be very curious. We are going to do something that I call the connection or meeting with our CSO. What is our CSO? The CSO is our Chief Spiritual Officer. You know, like we have the CSO and we have the CFO in companies. The CSO, as your spiritual officer, is that energy, that entity that you are defining right now as the one who you are going to put in charge of this journey. You could say it's your intuitive guide. You could call it your, I don't know, your spiritual guide, but we have all those, don't we? You, I'm sure all have your kind of concepts for that. I would love us to choose a new concept and to make it real business-like. That's why it's a CSO. Now, this CSO knows everything about you, wants your highest good, and is friggin' brilliant. Okay, it has full access to the quantum field, to all your guides and helpers, your source. It's one with that. And it's an identity, an entity that you're going to now nominate to guide you on this path. We're going to work with this CSO in 3D, and I'm going to show you a practice of how to do that so that our CSO can get all the work done in 5D, because that's the truth. The truth is that in the moment that we ask, like Esther Hicks says, Abraham, you ask and it is given. When you ask for something, there is a vibrational match. There's an answer, always is. The question is, can you tune into that? And we are here going to appoint the CSO to take care of all that because we don't need to know. We're going to trust the quantum field and those high frequencies to do the job for us. Our only job is to be really clear on what it is that we want and to hold the state, to go into that ideal state as often as possible so that the universe can work behind the scenes, orchestrating everything and just drop it into our lap. Because what I know from manifesting a lot of crazy good stuff in my life, it's not the conscious plans that I made. It was my trust when I just knew what I wanted and I opened up the field and I trusted that that is meant for me. Ask my friends. I've never sat down and, I don't know, scripted a business plan and done all these 3D ways. I've always done it my way. And it's always worked out for me. And I can tell you, it's way more effortless and way more joyful than all this, I don't know, logical 3D, I don't know, nitty gritty. We need that too. But if that's running your life, you're not going to feel free. And that feeling of freedom is an emotion, sorry, not an emotion, but a frequency that is up with bliss and peace and joy. So if you're in for freedom and you want to manifest in a new way, in a more feminine way, then stay tuned for your CSO. So here's what you're going to do. Every morning, yes, every morning, you're going to sit down before you turn on your phone, before you take care of other people's needs. It just takes 10 minutes. You're going to sit down and you're going to have a meeting with your CSO. So you're going to grab a notebook, a little journal or something that you can actually write in. Some do it on their phone. Again, I'm a big fan of actually writing it down because the emotion of writing with your hand has all the connections to your brain. And when you type, it's just different. But you do you. Okay, so you're going to take your little notebook and then you're going to open up the page And on the first page, you're going to write meetings with my CSO. And you're going to turn to the first page and you're going to write the date and the time next to it. Okay, so maybe you'll say tomorrow should be 11th of September, 7 a.m. Meeting with my CSO. And I always write where I am too because it's fun. Okay, so you'll write your place, the date, meeting with my CSO. And then you write gratitude, you spell it out. You write down things that you are grateful for that you already have. And you're going to write down things that you desire as if you already have them. So you could write something like, I am so grateful to have this amazing body, to be in perfect health, to have slept a really good sleep last night, and to be manifesting my ideal home, my perfect job, my ideal partner, whatever it is. And I feel so much gratitude for all the financial abundance and joy in my life. I give thanks to my incredible friends that are so supportive. I'm so grateful that everyone who's working for and with me is at the right spot, at the right time, dedicating their gifts and talents to the greater good. I'm so thankful for my healthy parents who are living their life, their best life, yada, 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 yada. So as you were listening to me talking right now, and that just came out of the top of my head or the middle of my heart, you don't know what of that do I already have and what of that do I actually want, did you? And that's how you want to write. You want to write as if you already have all those things. And you must write for at least 5 minutes. Okay, so you set your timer and you start writing. And yes, every single day you sit down and that's the first thing that you do. You have your meeting because this is a priority for you. It's the most important entity in your life. That's the guy or the girl who's going to make it happen for you. Okay. So you sit down and you write your gratitude for at least 5 minutes, and you'll see once you start writing, more and more things will come. I remember the first day that I sat down, which is 12 days ago. I sat down, it was a little sticky, right? After like 5, 6 sentences, I was like, oh, I got everything now. But I forced myself. I said, no, 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 5 minutes, we're going to do this. And then the more I wrote, the more things came up for me to be grateful for, and more things that I wanted to desire, that I wanted to put in there too. You start going wild on it. And I want you to go wild. I want you to really write down every crazy desire that you have. There's nothing that's too wild. There's nothing that's too out there. Do it. Write it down. Keep writing. Okay? That's your job in the morning. What I do before I start writing is I look for some inspiration. So I will open one of my books, my inspiring books that I have, of other teachers and other things. I will maybe listen to some inspiring video. I will draw a card. You want to spend a little time to get into the right vibration, the right state, right? So you could set your intention, for instance, and say, my intention is to completely, immediately, and permanently have a fantastic meeting with my CSO where I spell out multiple items of gratitude and spell out all my heart's desires, and to be happy, healthy, and well in every way. Take a breath, you pick a card, you listen to something inspiring, you feel good, listen to some cool music, you start writing. Okay, you do your 5 minutes of gratitude writing or longer. And then throughout the day, your only job is to notice the signs, to notice those little moments where you say, that's fun. There was a synchronicity there. Like when I was doing this with one of my best friends, Robin, and we were driving down to Venice, right? We were listening to this audiobook and we were like, oh yes, this is amazing. We're going to do this practice. So then we started noticing, and then we started noticing that suddenly all the number plates were 333, 444, 888, 999. So much so that Robin said to me, is this normal? Do you guys in Austria have all these multiple numbers? And I said, no, I've never seen this like that. So you'll notice all those little things, or maybe you'll go into some place and they'll be playing a really interesting piece of music where the lyrics catch your ear. So you just stay mindful. and note those moments where something's happening. Then you want to go ahead and share it with a friend. That's why I'm so excited that we have each other here, because my desire is that at least at the end of this year, but I know it's going to happen much earlier, really quickly, we are going to grow into a real family so that every one of you has a sister goddess, a buddy, an accountability buddy that you can do these exercises with, that we keep each other accountable between the calls to actually do the work. So I know that I've now got 3 or 4 friends who are joining in on this practice, and now many more. I know that I would be letting everyone else down if I didn't keep to it. So I really sit down. My book is already half filled. I'm so loving this practice. So then it's easy to find someone that you share this with, and you share what you shared with them are those little moments of synchronicity, those little signs that you got. You could, for instance, call a friend and say, guess what? I was intending for this and this, and today a little white feather just dropped into my lap. I'm seeing this as a really good sign. And then your friend will say, yeah, you go, girl, right? Something like that. So you share that experience that you had. And then in the evening, no, sorry, then you're going to envision that happening. So what you do is you just take maybe 1 or 2 minutes, close your eyes, go into a nice spot, and you imagine that all that you've written down is already unfolding. How would that feel? And you really tune into those feelings, because we know those feelings are the vibrations, that's the frequency that you're sending out to attract the same kind of experiences that are going to give you more of those good feelings. And the more you ramp up your state, the quicker your manifestations are going to drop into your lap. You're just going to draw them in. Okay, so you spend 1 or 2 minutes, just close your eyes and imagine it happening. See yourself, I don't know, on that party with the guy, in that job, in the car, in the house, whatever it is that you're choosing to manifest. And you just imagine what it would feel like. Okay, then in the evening before you go to bed, you maybe close your eyes, you're just snuggled in, you reconsider those moments that you noticed throughout the day. You feel the gratitude again. You fantasize about all those wonderful situations, and you forgive. You want to notice when were moments throughout the day when someone triggered you, maybe someone in the past popped up that still can create some negative emotions in you. When you notice something like that, some discord, right? You make the point of every evening forgiving them. And here's a very simple mantra you can use. You say, I bless you. I love you. I forgive you. I release you. I bless you. I love you. I forgive you. I release you. And even if you can't feel the release in that moment, and even if you're like, no, I don't want to forgive this person at all, say the words. I want you to say it out loud. I'm going to go back to the gratitude practice in the morning because I forgot one very important part. You need to also read it out to yourself. So once you've written your 5 minutes of gratitude, you take your little book and you read it out loud so yourself can hear your voice. Okay, this is adding that other element of sound vibration to your manifestation. So it's not just the thoughts in your mind and the feelings in your body, but you're also adding sound to it. And I think that might be one of the key elements of this practice. This is different from anything else that I have ever read or heard about. So speak it out, and you could do the same in the evening. So you start the day with the gratitude. You have your meeting with your CSO. You write for 5 minutes the gratitude. You read what you have written out to yourself. You take a moment to just imagine what that would feel like. Throughout the day, you notice the moments, you stay real mindful, and you celebrate it each time. When you have something to celebrate, you call a friend, you send them a text and say, guess what happened? Send them a pretty picture, whatever. You share that joy. And in the evening, you feel gratitude, you think about your day, you notice the moments, you tune into what you really want, and you forgive those that have in any way upset you. Has that made sense? Is that all good? I hope I'm not going too fast, but I really want to make sure we cover everything. Yeah? Okay, cool. Let me see in the chat. Are we all still here? Yes, cool, excellent. Okay. Let's turn that off again and on we go. So now is the time for our group intention. All you do now is you take 3 deep breaths and drop into the space of your heart. And then from our hearts, we're now going to send out the following intention. We're going to hold this intention just for 1 minute so you all feel it. Our intention is to completely, immediately, and permanently know our visions. Stay tuned into our intuition and to be happy, healthy, and well in every way. Close your eyes. I'll read it to you again. Our intention is to completely, immediately, and permanently know our visions, stay tuned into our intuition, and to be happy, healthy, and well in every way. One more time. Our intention is to completely, immediately, and permanently know our visions, stay tuned into our intuition, and to be happy, healthy, and well in every way. Excellent. Notice what you noticed in this very short intention. Could you feel the energy of the group? Isn't that so beautiful when we know we're not doing this alone? So now, here's what we have prepared for you. We wanted to make sure that this Golden Goddess Circle really becomes a tight-knit unit of these conscious women so we all know each other, we can support each other, we can network, we can really dive deep. So we have changed the concept of the open Golden Goddess Circle where you can just come and go whenever you want. Nobody really minds whether you're late or not, whether you show up, whether you don't show up, into a closed membership. And we are offering you 22 live Zoom circles. That means from now on until August, we are going to meet twice a month. In English, we're always going to meet on Tuesdays. Tuesdays, 7 p.m. We'll send you the dates. Twice a month, we're going to meet live and we're going to dive into the law of the month. We're going to elicit any sabotage we might have in our unconscious mind. We're going to transform that sabotage live on the call and align with our highest self and intend with each other. That's what we're always going to do. Now, because the goddess laws are so exciting, I have already invited a couple of guest speakers in. For instance, for the goddess law, the goddess enjoys her sexuality, which is next month. I've been able to get my dear friend, Dr. Glenn Wilcox, to come and teach us. He's a wise medicine man, a medical doctor, and he's an expert in sexual health, in pleasure. And I have asked him to come teach us and to answer all the questions that we may ever have about our own sexuality, about relationships, about things that are interesting to us as women. I've also contacted Lynn McTaggart, who's promised to come in and teach us more about the power of intention. For the financial part, when we go into that, I've invited Christina Wise to come in. She's an expert in feminine wealth, and she's going to give us a teaching on how to create more wealth in a very hands-on, practical way. And then I've also contacted my dear friend Dave Asprey to come in when we talk about the goddess is beautiful, to teach us simple techniques in biohacking. So I want you to know that for every single subject, our aim is to get the top speaker in, the top wisdom, the top knowledge, so that we can really use it in this circle and amplify each other. Additionally to this membership that we're offering you, those 22 calls, the exclusive guest speakers, I'm also giving you the Sleep Your Fat Away ebook. Why? Because when we talk about the goddess is beautiful and we talk about health, I really want you to have access to that knowledge so that you yourself can create that identity of having a happy, healthy body, living in that happy, healthy body. So I'm going to give you that. I'm also going to give you the digital training of the Joyful Kids training. It's a training that's really, really close to my heart. And because I know that many of you also really love children and would like to have a positive impact there, I'm going to give you that training so that when in August, when we take our call break, we can already be helping others. We could all be out there supporting children on this planet. That would really make my heart sing. And also, I want you to know that in this Goddess Circle, we work with frequency medicine. So I'll tell you more about that later, but I work with, for instance, the Healy, and I have the Golden Goddess Circle as a unit, as a circle, as a client on my Healy. So every time we have a circle, I am in the background sending our circle, meaning all of you, frequencies to uplift us, to help us all be healthy. And even if you don't know anything about that and don't believe what I've just said, you will experience it yourself. It's quite fascinating. Frequency medicine has the ability to create true miracles, and you're going to be part of that too. Another thing I want to grant you is priority access. So you might or might not know that every now and again I host experiences and retreats at my Lichtwerk here in Salzburg. Now, the thing is that I can always only have 10 guests. And I want you to know that whatever is going on, whatever I'm inviting to, you as Golden Goddesses are always at the top of my list. So even if we have, I don't know, only 10 places and 35 people sign up, the Golden Goddesses will always get priority access. And you're always welcome to come see me here at this Lichtwerk and experience frequency medicine yourself. And I will always make time for you. So what's the deal? I'm curious. The deal is that I want you to know that success doesn't happen alone. I know from all these decades on this planet that to achieve true lasting success, it takes dedication, it takes accountability, and it takes a tribe that can lift you up when you falter. And I want to do this together with you, because I know that as this bond of sisters that we have, when we stick together, we focus our intention, we support each other, we're going to be uplifting each and one of us to that success that we all deserve. So my offer, or our offer to you today, is join us in this golden membership. Join the Golden Goddess Circle. Be part of every single one of those calls. You'll receive the recordings, of course, if you can't be there, and the recordings will not be shared outside of this circle. We're going to be meeting every 3 months in an open circle. So for those of you who say, I have absolutely not €1 left, I can't afford this right now, you're welcome to join us every 3 months for an open circle. But for all those of you that really want to get going, that are serious about creating that life they truly desire, join us for just €198. For all of that, you will get the circles, you'll get all those free bonuses, and I can guarantee you together, we're going to make those beautiful shifts happen that you carry in your heart, those yearnings that you have, because when we're a tight-knit circle, we know each other. We can see each other on the screen. We can hold each other accountable. We'll have sister goddesses who will have our back. And we'll also be able to do heart seats. I'm really excited about the ability and the possibility to dive deep with one of you. So say we have a goddess call and a goddess law that is really triggering you, or where you're noticing, oh my God, I really need to work on that and I feel so blocked. Then that's a moment when we can get you on the screen and work with you. And because the recordings are not shared on YouTube or anywhere out of the circle, we're all going to feel safer. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And I want to invite you to right now go to the website that you see below. Nicole is also going to drop the link in the chat, because there is a limit, because we want to make sure that we all know each other and we're small knit circles. So there is a stop. There are definitely not more than 150 places left. So when we're sold out, we're sold out. And I would love you to sign up right now so you can be part of the first in the gang. So go to joymartina.com/golden/goddess/circle/English. And you can sign up for the membership and for the 4 open circles. Please note that even if you're a member of the Golden Goddess Circle right now from the previous years, this is completely new. We are discontinuing the old format, and this is new. So you have to sign up again, whether it's for the free circles or for the membership that I'm so hoping you will say yes to. So join us. Sign up today, sign up right now, click on the website, click on the link, and we're very excited to have you with us. So I'm going to close the screen share now and come to you so we can ask questions. Or you can ask questions and we can give answers. Nicole, what was your impression? It was your first time to see this, right?
You're talking to me, Nicole, right?
Yes, of course I'm talking to you.
I am very excited to meet my CSO because this concept is new to me. I mean, some parts of this is familiar to me, but really talking to her, I would say, is very nice. And would you say talking also connecting in a way before we get started in writing? I was thinking, or is it just like one thought and then you go?
I love that question because yes, I would definitely recommend writing right away. Because very often we'll have the thoughts in our mind, we'll have the conversation, but we won't put it down in paper. And what I would love us to get into is that state of what I call automatic writing. Automatic writing is a form of channeling. So that's when you just put the pen to the paper and you write without checking is your spelling right, without checking the grammar of it. You just write because that's when you're tuning into source. And the CSO is part of source, right? So I would really start writing right away. Thank you
And
for that.
it's a beautiful way of, like, if you do automatic writing, even if it's half dark, you are writing down and you're amazed what you have been writing down afterwards.
Absolutely. Valentina has asked a question. Says, I really want to go with all of you. I just want to ask because I have 4 children, and do you think I can do that? I have so little time, and I'm also working, and yada yada. I love the question. Yes, yes. This sisterhood here, this Golden Goddess Circle is not an add-on. It's not an extra thing. Oh my God, I've got to do it. You will notice it's like for all of us, we're so excited for the gatherings. I mean, so many of you in the last years have written to me, thank goodness we have the Golden Goddess Circle. It's my highlight of the week. It's my highlight of the month because I feel so much support. This is not something where you need to be sitting there glued to the screen, writing. No, many of you, most of you join in pajamas, right? You can be lying on your couch instead of Netflixing. You're hanging out with sisters and you're meeting other conscious women. I know that so many of us feel alone in this. Empress Wu was alone, but we don't have to be alone. We can do this together. So I want this to be something that gives you energy, not something that you have to bring yourself to do. That's not the point. Nicole, what would you say to that?
I would say the same. And maybe Valentina has been thinking also about the time in the morning and in the evening. And I believe it will give you even more power because you're more in your own like intentions and what you're wishing for, and this you're creating, and this gives you power. It gives you
Yeah,
more power also being with your children, and you will see the difference, I'm sure.
yes. And I think because we had little time, we couldn't, really go deep in the intention practice. But normally when we have time, we will do that intention holding for 8 minutes. And those 8 minutes alone are worth it. We could fill whole books of things that happened with this intention setting. Nicole, maybe you'd like to share what happened for you and your husband.
Yeah, my husband had been very ill 1.5 years ago. He had like a very serious, two serious strokes, and it was really life threatening. And I shared it here in the group as well in the Joy Tribe, and so many people have been intending, and this creating this healing atmosphere and this weaving of beautiful power of intention that you only see the healed person again. You're not even going into the direction what maybe the doctors might tell you or what might be going wrong, or you're reading what might be going wrong. That's what you have been talking about, Joy. This is your brain where you're like constantly thinking, oh, it could be in this direction, but you are really seeing the healed person. And my husband is like, he still has some issues, but I get goosebumps all over. He is so well, and I am so happy I can walk with him hand in hand, and he has a strong hand, and we can walk together and create our new life together, and it's really working.
Well, and
It's
he's gone from being in a coma to being
yes,
fully functional,
yes.
working in business again. So
Not being able to walk anymore, wearing diapers. Really, it was really. I cannot even imagine how quick that went. That he is so well, and
yes,
it's working for so many people. We have on Wednesday nights we have the Power of Eight group where we really only intend, like we do 2 or 3 intentions for really serious cases, and we have really miracles happening. So
cool.
it's working.
Michi has just dropped the link for the sign up in the chat. Thank you for doing that, Michi. That was important. So that's where you sign up now. We have questions about translation. I'm not sure if my English is good enough. Does it make sense? Yes, it does. Your English is going to get better and better every time just by joining. Number two, your subconscious mind understands way more than your conscious mind. Number three, you'll have the transcript too. So I'm just seeing right here on Zoom right now, it's asking, do you want this meeting to be transcribed? Of course, yes, we do. And then you can have an automatic translation of that. So AI is so good in so many things that language really is not an issue anymore. And I know from especially a lot of Italian goddesses that also came here to Salzburg, they were amazed at how much they understood when they just dropped into that space and trusted that everything that I need to hear, everything that needs to come in, I will understand. And the rest, it's energy, honey. You will feel the energy of the circle. We have so many stories of men and women. I mean, women and men who told us that they could feel the energy of us women. They could feel it for their healing. They could feel it as a source of strength and to just have that trust in life again, because you know you're not alone. You have a whole gang of sisters that you can reach out to. And the cool thing is, because we're so diverse, there's so many different women here from all walks of life, we're all bringing those talents in. So I've noticed some beautiful networking happen. I want us to be supporting each other's businesses. Of course, I'm going to support a goddess's business if she's here and she's doing a good job. Of course, I'm going to be talking about it. Of course, I want you to be sharing your gifts. I can see many of you here that I know are experts in certain fields. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love you to give us a quick teaching on something. If you say, hey, I have so much knowledge about that, I'm going to come in and teach that, then yes, do that. In February, for instance, we're devoting the month to the goddess does not explain herself, and we're going to be doing feng shui. So in the German circle, we have my beautiful co-host Andrea, who's a feng shui and astrologist, a feng shui master and astrologist. And she's actually also going to come into the English circle to teach us how can we amplify our home? How can we harmonize the energy in our homes so it benefits us? And Andrea is not a native English speaker, but her English is good and good enough to teach. And you'll see that this multilingual, multinational gathering of women is just so inspiring. And then we have a question for the ones who are saying, okay, I used to switch between the German and the English circle. Do I have to decide now on one? Basically, yes, I would like you to decide for one circle because we want to be that network and you want to know all those women and you might have a buddy that's also in that circle. But if that's a big deal for you, yes, I will give you access to both circles if you sign up for one. Okay. What other question do we have?
Some
Thank
people also
you.
in
Lakshmi is
dogs.
in.
Yes,
Woo-hoo! You might
thank
be the first one. I don't know. But Lakshmi, I am celebrating you. I am so excited to get to know what you're about and what you're
you.
wanting to manifest. Are there any other questions? Keep them going. Sunya is in. Sunya. That's wonderful. Yeah, I can't tell you. I'm going to be checking the whole time who's in, who's in, who's in, because I'm going to make a whole pin board of all my goddesses. So at some point, I'm going to ask you to send me a picture of you because that's how I also do energy work, right? I have my clients, I have pictures of my clients, I put them in my little altar, I'm praying for them. You're going to be amazed what happens when we all intend for each other and we can share our resources. We're going to see each other in 3D. Of course, we're going to have a Golden Goddess Circle retreat at some point. It's going to be fabulous. Thank you. Thank you. Any other
Yes,
questions?
and we want to make it as personal as possible. Compared to the last time, like Joy was saying, it is really this reaching out, getting to know each other, and celebrating each other's talents, and bringing them into a circle where we all can benefit from each other, and at the same time even help each other through crisis, through moments where we are not so strong, because we all have these moments. There is none of us who doesn't have it, and so we can be felt that others are holding us, and this is so strong, and this will be also felt outside of the circle, in our families, amongst our children. It is like I really get goosebumps, because this is so powerful. And what I wanted to say also is that the Empress Wu, she was, like you were mentioning, rather alone. She always had a lot of enemies around her. We might have that too in our daily life. And still, in this sisterhood here, we have this sacred space, and we are holding each other's back. And this is unique. And I read in the book one sentence, and I really like this. And it is not only comfortable to be an empress or a goddess, and yet it is incredibly exciting and adventurous to go on this journey. And this is what excites me. It's not comfortable. It's not like, yeah, I'm such a poor girl. Yes, no, it is really facing your issues. And these goddess rules are really amazing to work through them. And I love that we have this structure. It will give us such a really boost.
Yeah, and I think it's going to build a foundation on which we can firmly stand. There was a question, so when's the next circle? Great question. The next circle for English speakers is the 24th of September. So we've always done it the first, wasn't it? The first Tuesday and then the third Tuesday. That's the schedule that we have, so that in between the first and the second meeting, we have time to actually practice the things that we learned. So that in the second meeting, we can come back and say, here's what I experienced. Here are my results. Here's what I need help with. So that's.
Yeah, there might be, I think in December, we have some changes because of Christmas, but otherwise you will see them all in the email.
Yes, so we're definitely going to send out this recording. This recording is also going on YouTube, as all open circles are. So 4 circles a year we're going to put on YouTube, but everything in between is just going to stay amongst us. We're going to send you the recordings. You're going to have to download them if you want to keep them. We're not storing them anywhere, but you're going to have access to us. That I didn't mention that. Part of the circle commitment is that you have email support from me 5 days a week. That's huge, okay? So whatever issue you have, if there's anything you need, 5 days a week, weekends I'm going to take off because that's sacred to me. 5 days a week, you can write to me, and I will give you my very best advice. And so will Nicole, right?
Very happy to do so.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Anything we can do for you, ladies? Annette's in, whoop, whoop. Nicole's in, whoop, whoop. Nicole and I have been, that's a different Nicole, not the one below me. Nicole and I have been intending for the past week, so a little break now because we were just starting this up. And we've been having great fun just getting on the phone, on WhatsApp, saying, okay, what do you desire? Okay, here's what I desire. Let's intend together. And it just feels so good to know that you have someone in, as Nicole says, in your back, or holding your back, and you have someone in your field that that you can trust, that also wants you to rise and shine. Yeah, thank you. I could just say thank you. Okay. We're going to love you and leave you and wish you a blessed night, divine light shine together, together, together. Remember, click the link, sign up, and we're excited to get going with you. Bye-bye, my loves.
Thank you so much. Beautiful to see
you, Nicole. Thank you.
Bye. Good night.